Good evening, 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 and welcome to Race Space. We are on round two, round 1 and 2 of the Mega TC Championship. This is going to be a new championship that we are racing today. First up, we have round 1 and round 2 at the Dubai Autodrome. And tonight, we are joined by Kyle for commentary. Kyle is in the side chat right now. Well, he's in the Discord server of ours, taking part in some of the necessities pre-race. But yes, we will be getting underway soon.
How's it?
Hello, Kyle. How are you today?
I'm alright. I was just finishing up there in that driver briefing chat.
Just letting some of the fine viewers at home know just what's going on at the moment. But yes, so round 1 and round 2 today of a brand new championship.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. Also, I haven't been on this commentary for a while. Let's see how my internet holds up. I haven't been having the best of luck with that lately.
All I'm going to say is it's lovely to see you tonight, and I hope that you are doing well, and I hope everything's going well for you today.
Yeah, you too. At least you got some assistance this season in the commentary.
I'm actually going to enjoy bouncing off you a little bit with regards to this this season, because I've been sitting here with the past few times that I've been doing things, and I've been mostly on my own. But it's nice to have somebody to talk to, and nice to have somebody to chat with, which is pretty nice.
I've done those lonely commentaries before. They're pretty tough.
As somebody who does not like to be on his own, it's lovely to have a fellow commentator to chat to whilst things are happening. So yes.
Yeah. All right, so I'm the cameraman. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. We've got Kenny there.
Yeah, we got Kenny.
He's got a nice green livery there. We're getting used to some brand new liveries again. So we got Kenny, that's a nice one there, number 15.
Kenny this season looking to potentially repeat his last season's championship victory.
He won in those little sport Caterham cars. So that was a good championship actually.
Them Caterhams were pretty nice. I have to admit that when I was driving, I did a bit of practice in them. They were a bit of a handful, but they were nice to drive.
Did you get a setup from Kenny?
No, I didn't actually get a setup from Kenny. I was just using I was using one that I had myself. And
all I can say is my first 2 races, that car was extremely difficult to do a full race in, and then I got a cool setup kindly given to me by Kenny, and it changed my life in that car. I started feeling like I was a bit competitive. Obviously not as good as other guys, but I still did better than I would have if I had continued to use that default one the whole way through.
I mean, it's been one of those things. I mean, I had one. I tried a bit of a drive. I tried a bit of a drive in these cars recently, and they're nice cars. These cars are going to be pretty nice to handle. The only issue is, and this is from my perspective, the braking performance.
What, on this car?
On this car, the braking performance is not the best, from my opinion.
It's probably just, I mean, any time you get a car that's a bit fast, doesn't feel like it's good on the brakes, because obviously you've got a lot more speed, but these cars are very quick. We've actually raced these before in a championship, and it's very close racing. Remember, everybody is in the same car, so it keeps it pretty equal. Obviously, it's based now to skill level. We know guys like Kenny is usually quick, so he's one to watch. We've got Joff there in his I call it the French livery, but it's also obviously his colours for the Netherlands. He calls it a Netherlands livery. I said maybe if he nosedives it into the ground for the race, then it will be.
I mean, if it goes underwater, then certainly it is a Dutch livery. But yeah, as I say, the championship's looking pretty well. It's going to potentially look spicy once we get a few more drivers involved. Because I know that
there's a couple guys missing tonight. Roy's just away for the week. We've got someone out because of load shedding, and we also have obviously Volpeaks, who's very quick. He's got the same livery as this car we're looking at now, but obviously in the Italian colours, so that'll be cool. He's also quick. And who knows, maybe some more if some guys fix their wheels. It seems to be wheel breaking season at the moment. Everybody smashing their wheels. Maybe they didn't win enough races. So.
I mean, I haven't smashed my wheel in fucking ages because, well, suffice to say, I used to drive a lot on wheel before I then went back to pad for some weird reason. But I like wheel on certain cars and certain tracks. But when it comes to rally cars, that's where I have to say I cannot drive rally cars on wheel. So that's why I made the decision to go back to pad for certain aspects, and then I've basically just gone right back to pad proper, which is not the best because I know that my lap times are going to be pretty atrocious. So I'm probably going to go back to pad. I'm probably going to go back to wheel at some point once I get into other games and stuff.
Pilot's the first person to set a lap time there. Sorry about that. It's just, 6 is the one to beat.
Speaking of that, Jeff's just gone and absolutely smashed it with a 201,
and so did Kenny.
Kenny's just gone and blitzed everybody. 1 second the gap.
Jeff also just blitzed that sign there.
Yep.
Speed braking area there.
This track's a bit of a... It's a bit of a handful.
M9 joining us again. It's good to see Kieran on track. He's in that 34 livery, blue and white.
Kevin did pretty well last season, considering I think last season was probably one of his first championships. He was my teammate. I'd say probably one of his first solid championships that he raced the whole thing. He definitely improved as the season went. I think he might have missed a race or two, I can't remember, but he definitely did a good job. So I'm looking to see. I can see that he's going to definitely improve as time goes on, getting more into the racing. I mean, the one person that I'm looking forward... Well, I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of people, to be fair. But we've got Mark this season, who is...
Ratic, he came second in the last season. He won quite a lot of the races.
Let me just say, last season I wasn't Mark's biggest fan because every time I had suffice to say that Volpeaks was in my team, and I was basically rooting for Volpeaks last season a little bit. Unfortunately, it didn't go the way I wanted it to with him, which was very disappointing. However, it's nice to know that it's nice to see that Mark did good last season. He was probably one of the best of the rest, to be fair. And he
also
had
got the Punk did really well last season in that Mega Sport. He came third overall.
There was a lot of good races from a lot of people. There was a couple where people had little issues, little niggles. I mean, Palm had a few. Palm did very well last season. But at the end of the day, he just... It was the races that he may have lacked the final...
Palm is one of the quickest lap times, I would say. When it comes to qualifying, when it comes to in a race, he's able to set the fastest. But the problem is, I don't know if he's setting up his car in such a way that it can't make it to the end of a race, because he's struggling to keep the pace throughout. That's always been probably his biggest weak point, but definitely one of the fastest. If he can just keep his laps consistent, he's got the potential to be racing every race, right with Kenny and Volpeaks up there every race. So it's definitely something he's got to work on. But
I know for me, I'm pretty good with when it comes to qualifying pace in terms of other racing games. It's just my race pace is my race pace is a bit off. I just struggle with the pace of the car in the race, and I drop off like a lead balloon. I mean, I can get a good qualifying lap in, and I can literally blitz the field, but yeah.
yeah, it's two time attack and racing in a race with cars around is two completely different things. To manage your car throughout is a different skill in itself. You can see there, I'm just struggling. I don't know if he's doing that on purpose, just trying to get a feeling for the car or what, but you can just see he's sliding it a bit.
Yeah, this car has a few characteristics in it, one of them being a bit of a sliding complex. You try and that's the reason why when I did a few laps earlier on, I had to put my car into, well, I had to basically put full downforce on, and I struggled with my lap time. I was where Speed Pilot and Ratic are now. Know where Speed Pilot is right now? 204.8, round about that. If I'd have pushed a bit more, I could have got potentially a 202.
But back on the subject of Palm, what people also forget is a lot of these guys, they weren't. If you take a look at Kenny, for example, he wasn't like he is now when he first started, or even within the first few weeks or months or whatever of racing. It took him time to figure it out. You know, I always say when Kenny first joined the community, we were racing the Rallycross, which he's won 2 seasons, I think, of Rally Fighters, right? His first season, he wasn't even, I mean, we had more than 20 drivers back then. I don't even think he was in the top 10. And that's nothing against his skill. It's just saying it just takes one thing. Once they figure it out and it clicks, they can change so quickly and go from good potential to being great every sort of championship. So I'm not saying anything against anyone negatively tonight. I'm just saying there's definitely things we all got to work on, but Palm for sure is one of the drivers that I see with most potential, sort of at the moment. Unlocked potential, should I say. Or locked potential, waiting to be unlocked. Anyways, that is the qualifying completed.
Yep.
You can see.
And Kenny once again has done bits.
Remember also his first race of the season. The guys are all getting used to the cars. We're not professional drivers. We don't have all day to sit and practice. So a lot of the guys probably only just trying the car up for the first time tonight. Ooh, Palm left. Wonder why that happened.
Did he have a little bit of an issue? Also, Senna had a bit of an issue as well. I don't know whether what happened with him.
Oh, he's showing he's here. Okay, maybe that's all just the messages catching up at the end. Alright, so Ratek, he got second. I think because Palm got a grid place penalty or something. There was some grid place penalties there. Didn't quite catch them. I was focused on something else. Apologies. Anyways, so let's quickly check our lineup. We got Kenny on pole, Ratek in second, Palm sitting there in third, so he's done a good job. Joff in fourth there.
Palm got a grid penalty in qualifying. I don't know how. He may have got that due to speeding in the pit lane. So
it could be, because Senna also got that same one. It says there pit lane violation. It'll be speeding in the pits. Speed Pilot, 6th place, M9 in 7th, and Honor Senna sitting there at 8th. Interesting camera angle, this one. Okay, remember it's a standing start, so they're just going to go
and it's
for it.
lights out and away we
green.
go! Kenny gets a stonking start, but Rasik's on his inside. Go down towards turn 1.
Gotta be careful here.
Rasik goes down the inside, but Kenny holds it round the outside.
Oh, there's chaos there. That's Honor Senna at the back in the green car.
There's been a little bit of a what looks like contact. The moment, everything looking pretty good, but Rasik's under pressure. Rasik's under pressure from Palm at the moment.
Nice train going there though, all the guys pretty close for now.
Here comes the Ratik train, as the saying goes.
I love this track. This is the one track, if I had to choose in this championship where I would have wanted to race, it's this one.
I mean, technically, for me...
That was a bit twitchy there.
Yep, this track at that corner is...
allowed Palm just to get slightly on the back of Ratik there.
Yeah, that corner
not
is...
too far off either.
That corner is definitely death.
It's going to be a close race between these two.
Oh, it's getting tight here.
Ooh,
Mark went very
wide.
deep. Went very deep there. He's going to have to try and hold it round the... You have to hold it. Oh, that was a bit tight on the entrance. Palm going wide. That's going to allow Jeff to go down the outside of Ratik now. It's all kicking off here.
What epic racing there. And that's just lap 1.
I mean, Palm's got away now.
Kenny's clear of the battle, so he's just pulling away a bit now.
I mean, all it takes is a issue, because I know that Kenny sometimes does have his moments.
Not too often, but
it's not too often, but
see.
He does have his moments every so often.
This is such a fast section of the track. I like this section a lot. If you're brave enough, you could get a good overtake around here.
Oh, Jeff goes very wide. That's almost as wide as them buses that I've been on recently.
You can see Speed Pilot M9 on a Senna just recovered from his accident. So Ratik, he's not fallen off the back of Palm though, he's still holding on. You can see Palm does a very similar thing as to what happened there to Ratik last lap.
Yeah, that corner, after the main straight, it's very, your car gets very twitchy. I've noticed that when I did a few laps earlier. Even with high downforce, it's a bit twitchy.
That turn just after that big straight, that one is one of the best for overtaking, because a lot of the guys will run it wide, and then you just keep it tight. You can make a lot of positions up there. If the guys are obviously struggling a bit in front of you.
Jeff getting slightly nervous behind Mark there as he goes off track. I think Mark may have had a little bit of a wobble, but Kenny off in the lead at the moment.
So the pack just sort of
splitting up into the relevant components.
In Joff's defense, he says he doesn't know this track very well, as he knocks over the brake marker there.
That's going to cause a few issues to the guys behind who don't have racing line turned on.
Also Guttapunk there, he is also not too experienced on this track, let's say. Like the colours of that car of Kenny's.
Palm's pulling away.
Yeah, but you can see Joff there. He's just trying to close that gap a little. There he's looking for a move up the inside, but he
doesn't go for it. He thinks twice because Mark's way too far ahead. Jeff needs to get a good run through a section. At the moment, he's just about getting close, but on the straights, I think Mark may be able to pull away a little.
Joff's got good speed here. Remember,
yeah, he's carried the speed.
This next corner is where Ratek was running it wide earlier, so he needs to try keep it tight to fight off Joff. Does he manage to keep it tight? That's a good line there.
Pretty reasonable there, considering. And it looks like Palm's catching Kenny a little bit.
Can be.
The gap's gone down.
The
gap's gone down by about a second. Gap's gone down by a second as Mark's gone very wide. Jeff's in the slipstream now.
Maybe into the next corner. Let's see. Is he brave enough?
Is he going to go for the outside or the inside? He's moved 2 or 3 times in the braking and he's gone well wide, and that's
taken out another brake marker. Oh, he's lost it. He's lost it. There he goes off.
He's had a bit of a wobble.
So he's got some work cut out for him now to catch up to Ratek again. Meanwhile, here's Palm. That looks like a very angry car. Red and black. So he did sort of close the gap, but you can see the last 2 lap times. Oh no, Kenny was slower. I didn't see the one there. Sorry. So he did close the gap last lap.
It looks like Kenny may have had an issue on one of the laps.
Maybe just a wobble or something on a corner.
Or a spin or something.
No, it wouldn't have been a spin. It's still
half spin or something.
It's a lot better than some of the lap times behind. So it's probably just a bit of a slower lap than what his fastest is.
There are times when you can have a bit of a half spin and it drops you by about
a bit of a drift.
Bit of a drift or a loss of control through a certain corner can lose you about half a tenth to half a second to potentially a second. And these cars are not the best for that sort of thing. As Palm goes wide, Palm goes very wide. He may have had the tyre is maybe starting to go off a bit for Palm at the moment.
Looks like Joff might be recovering a little bit. Oof, as I say that he runs it off.
Yeah,
That's
these tyres are not the best when it comes to grip.
Let's take a quick look here at Speed Pilot.
Sitting down there in 6th place.
Our friend from Germany.
This track may not be the Autobahn to him, but it's certainly a quick run round for him.
You can see Joff closing that gap slightly again. What I like about this track is it allows for some very good racing. It's a very wide track. If you've got the braveness for it, if you're brave enough, you can really do some good moves here for overtakes, and the track allows you to push really hard. There's not a lot of tracks that allow that, because a lot of them are thin. You've got grass and stuff on the side. You can clip the grass and spin out or something. Here you don't have any of that, so it really it allows for some good racing usually. I think once some of the guys start figuring out how hard they can push it into certain corners, we're going to see some good overtakes.
Looks like there's been some debris kicked up there. Senna's not a lap down. Senna's doing a pretty reasonable job tonight. Normally you'd see him potentially a lap or two down. He's not a lap down at all. He's still in it. Still on the lead lap. True, I've just had a look at it. I've just had a look at his bonnet and
damage. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got pretty substantial damage, but he's still doing reasonably well.
Punk looks like he's catching up actually. That was a quick one from him. On the pace of those other two.
As Jeff runs it wide once again through turn 1. I think nothing really separating the three guys here, Ratic, Joff and Punk. It just takes a little mistake from one of them. I mean, Jeff's gone wide. Jeff keeps going wide.
No, that's how you take that corner. That's the fastest way. He's figured it out. That's exactly how I take it. You can gain so much speed on that section if you come from wide and then you go tight at the end. It's one of my favorite sections of the track. You can even sometimes, if you're lucky, you can go for an overtake there.
I may have done this track on a Formula Renault, and this is the most satisfying track that I have ever done with a Formula Renault.
This track is great for any car, really. I might be biased, but this is probably one of my favorite tracks in the game.
I like it because it's pretty reasonably flowing. You've not got any issues with flow to the track. One corner leads into another and another. It feels comfortable. Feels like a nice warm, nice warm shirt. That's just
how close it is between these two now. Joff is really pushing.
I think Mark's had a few issues through that lap. Oh, is Jeff's right in his ass now.
I really think if he could potentially try a move at the end of the straight. He's got the.
After last time, I think Mark's pulling away a little. He's got to make a move. I think Mark's gone for straight line speed, and Jeff's gone for more of a cornering aspect. So Jeff's doing pretty well in the corners.
He's looking set up to try and move somewhere soon. He's figured this section out. He runs it wide. He comes back on the inside.
But Mark's still slightly further ahead. Mark's still got the straight line speed. I think that's what Mark's running, straight line, a slightly more or less downforce on his car, which is helping him on the straights, but in the corners he's a sitting duck.
This is one of the spots I would have tried to overtake.
He went slightly deep there.
Joff doesn't try when he's on that corner, and even on the first turn earlier, he doesn't go up the inside. So I don't know if he's confident with his braking ability, because I would be gunning for the inside to try and stick on that curb on the inside, but looks like he's just maybe a bit worried about doing that with his brakes on the car. Oh, there's on a Senna there. He's just slightly on the line, but they get through fine, and the battle continues. I wouldn't be surprised. No, I thought he was maybe going to go pits there. So the battle continues. The car's a little bit more split up again. But remember, all this battling, it's doing a good job here for Gatapunk to try and catch them. So he's going to be hoping that they continue the battle. Let's take a quick look at M9 here.
Oh,
Oof,
oh yeah.
drift.
I think his tyres at the rear, they may be slightly too hot.
I don't know if he's fiddled maybe too much with setup and stuff, but definitely struggling with whatever setup he's running.
I think that bit of, how to put it, that bit of disruption might have mixed Jeff's stride up there a little. Oh! Mark
He pushed too hard. He's spun. He's going to lose 2 positions there. He comes up behind Gatapunk.
He'll be gutted with that.
And that played well for Joff there. He's just been pushing harder and harder every lap. But now the battle, I would say, is going to be here with Gatapunk and Ratek. If Ratek can just get back on the pace, he should possibly be able to get in the fight there for 4th. Still got a couple laps to go.
I don't think Mark after that. I don't think Mark after that corner, well, after that spin, will be able to get back in the fight.
I don't think with Joff, but I think with Gatapunk he could catch him. There's still enough laps.
He seems to have been struggling all race. I don't know whether it's something to do with the setup, but in the qualifying he was pretty good, but in the race he's been pretty, for want of a better term, he's been pretty slow. Don't know whether he had a setup change or what, but he seemed pretty slow. And it was basically a train with. It was a train at one point.
I wouldn't say he's exactly slow. If you look at his lap times and stuff, they've been alright. Maybe not as quick as Kenny, but definitely above a lot of the other guys in the race. I wouldn't say slow, but just remember everyone's also getting used to the cars. Everyone will be feeling rusty right now, first race of the season.
Oh, that's a lock-up from Gatapunk.
See the lock-up. Also now, Gatapunk hasn't had pressure. Gatapunk hasn't had pressure on him all race. Now he does. So can he cope with the pressure of Mark trying to close that gap?
I think I've just saw Senna's had a disqualification potentially.
Yeah, for pit lane. I think he sped into the pits.
Yep. He needs to learn that he's got a pit lane speed limiter. Needs to assign a button to that.
I think it can even be if you spin in the pits, so it might have even been that, I'm not sure.
I've not had that before, spinning at the pit. In terms of that sort of thing, it's more likely a speeding violation.
Usually, but you can, because you can't go backwards in the pits.
You can technically reverse.
I've on an oval before, I spun and went into the pits backwards and I got disqualified. So. Anyways, so we've got Joff looking pretty comfortable now. I think he's going to be pretty happy just to sit here, take the 3rd for this race. Ratek though closing down that gap on Gatapunk. I think I can hear Senna say that his engine blew.
I take it you're listening into the VC chat that's going on right now?
Yeah, it's quiet in there. I told the guys to just keep it quiet and only important information, so you can just hear that that was mentioned, I'm assuming, from that chat. Otherwise, Paul might be in my room right now, I don't know. But, yeah, I just heard engine blown, so that could be the issue there.
Well, he's pressed B to blow, and he's blown his engine up. That's not PogChamp, that is. That's not the way to do it.
I must say, Guttapunk looked for a second in that beginning of that lap like he might be losing the gap a bit between him and Ratek, but he's managed to recover, I'd say. Doesn't look like he's doing too bad.
I mean,
who's that ahead of them? They're catching somebody. Is that Joff? Has Joff had a mistake?
I didn't see anything
like it's getting
there.
Smaller.
I didn't see anything earlier.
Oh, it can just be great laps from the other two. But that gap seems to look a bit small between Joff and the next car, Guttapunk.
I mean, Jeff can have little issues. I've known him to come a cropper of the legendary Crayston Acer every once in a while. But yeah, right now you got Kenny just storming away.
Let's take a look at Kenny. We haven't seen much of him this race because he's just in a race of his own at the moment.
Kenny could, in theory, potentially could potentially just do a drive-through and still win the race.
I don't know. Palm's not that far behind, but still, he's managed to gap Palm, and we know Palm can be pretty quick as well.
He could drive with the pit speed limiter on foot down the whole of that main straight and still win the race. As we go on to the final lap now.
Are we gonna see a final lap battle here between these three? You can see Ratek really pushing hard. He wants to go for that battle on the final lap. It's everything or nothing for him right now. Is he going to carry the speed through here? He needs to carry as much speed through all these corners as he can. Ooh, runs it wide, but that means he's going fast. Oof, I think he might just be closing slightly the gap there. Just in certain sections, maybe.
Looking pretty decent out there. Don't think he's going to be able to do it by the end of the straight. Oh, there's a lock-up!
Oh, lock-up there.
Guttapunk!
Oh! There's nowhere for Ratek to go, he just has to go around a bit, but that slowed him down slightly. But this is a battle now. The last few sections here.
Mark and Tom in the chat speaking away, I've just noticed. Mark and Tom trying to psych each other out.
No, they're not talking.
I could see a few little bits of murmurs in the chat. Oh, as Tom locks up, Mark nearly goes into the back of him. As Mark cuts the track, doesn't gain an advantage. Final
So close
corner. Oh, it's not going to
Yeah, the
happen.
punk just has to hold it. He just has to hold it now.
Yep,
Oh,
that's P3 for Jeff, P4 for Gopunk, P5 for Mark.
what a race there. Well done to those guys.
I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to lie, as the saying goes, I nearly pooed my pants with that. But yeah, that was a very good race. One that I wasn't expecting, actually. But great work to Jeff and Gutterbunk and
Kenny, I mean, Kenny goes and he just dominates the first one. Speed Pilot, he crosses the line now. Good job from him. Obviously also not as experienced as some of the guys here in Project Cars, but doing a good job there to finish. I always say if you don't get lapped by Kenny, you've done a good job. So,
well, in that case, if you're saying that, I would not have done a good job, because I would have been lapped by Kenny. But yeah, good job to everybody for that race. As you can see there, the standings at this current time. Looking good at the moment for the well, looking good, Kenny, for the championship at this current time. But everything can change. It's only race one. Anything can happen in motor racing, and it usually does. As
that chat just became very loud.
Everybody exploring Kyle's ears, the story of being a admin's life, blowing up Kyle's ears is very fun, isn't that right, Kyle?
Yeah. Okay. So let's go now into race number 2, second race of the championship. We are going to Sakitto.
Oh, please tell us there's not a change in the weather today. If there is a change in weather, I am going to be like, oh, this is going to spice the championship up a little bit. What's the weather forecast going to be for the race?
The laps is the same.
What's the weather like? Is it a spicy meatball or is it a reasonable weather forecast? Oh, it's reasonable. It's cloudy. Cloudy with a chance of meatballs. Looking good. Looking good. I mean, for me, that would be perfect. You could fly down the. You could fly with that. I think that's gonna go down well with a lot of people. I mean, overcast, you get a bit more of a chance to push.
And the sun won't shine in your eyes.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, don't get me started on that when I've been in some races. I've been like, my eyes, I can't see my eyes. But yeah, Sakitto. Basically the fake version of Suzuka. One of the many times where a track's basically been renamed for legal reasons due to the fact that they don't have the licensing. But yeah, Sakitto's a pretty nice track, and also it has the layout of it is, I have to admit, slightly better than the actual real life variant. I like Sakitto.
Yeah, it's not a bad track at all.
It's not everybody's cup of tea. But it's a pretty nice track. One of the many tracks out there that are fake tracks in Project Cars 2.
I wouldn't say many. There's Azure and Sakitto.
There's also the Irish karting track in the game. that is basically that is Spa-Francorchamps karting track. But because they didn't get the licensing, they had to put it
said
as.
It's from Ireland.
It's from Ireland, yeah. A bit of Project Cars trivia you may not have known. I know because I've. Oh, that was a bit of a.
From
That was
Joff's going past Monster Energy right there. Interesting camera angle. We don't usually race this variant very often in the community, so it'll be interesting to see how the guys do here.
As somebody who has driven this track before, well, I did a few laps earlier on, but that doesn't count. It's surprisingly nice. The real life variant feels very stop-start. There's not all that much flow, whereas this track, there's quite a lot of flow to it.
Here's a nice one. We had a great battle here a few years ago. We had the Race of Nations GT3 Championship. And that was a night race around here, actually. It was quite an intense race. I think Mark and I were on commentary for that.
I think I've only done a few actual races round. Well, I may have done only one race round here potentially. I don't know exactly.
Oof, and that's not what you want to do right there.
That certainly isn't the route you want to take.
I don't know why, but something about this livery reminds me of a BMW, and I don't know why. There's something. I don't know if BMW raced with a similar livery at some point, but every time I see these colors and this logo and stuff, it reminds me. I don't know why. Can't place it. Maybe a Williams livery or something. Oof. Interesting line through there. All the guys looking fast at the moment, so I can't quite tell where they're all gonna end up. And that's a fast one from Gutter-Punk.
I may have done a 140. I may have done a 146 earlier on, I think. So at the moment, I'm just having a look at this lap at that, and I'm like, hang on, I'm faster than Kenny. And that was in a somewhat default setup. Unless Kenny's just taking it slowly.
Well, they're all just coming onto this track now after Dubai. I'm sure they're used to Dubai. We've lost Tom for some reason.
If you want to send him an invite, or try and send him an invite, if you can. Hang on, there's a message in general chat. Game froze.
I'm just sending messages to him now.
He said it can't join, just stuck on waiting. Is that Palm out of this qualifying session? On a centre there, going off again.
Alright, I will just get the guys, once this qualifying is over, I'll get them to retire. We'll try restart just for the race to get Palm in.
So Palm's going to be starting from the back of the grid, is that correct?
Yep.
This is what we call in the sim racing community a red flag.
Yeah, so apologies for my silence, just messaging, figuring out what we're gonna do. Okay, so Joff, oof, I didn't even have time to look there, so Joff has topped the times there.
Just on a time slightly better than Kenny, but Kenny's going to come out the blocks and just force him back into line. Unless Kenny's going to have a bit of an issue. I take it, did you go into the VC and say to everybody to retire the car?
No, I don't want to do it till the qualifying's over. I'm going to catch them once it's over. I don't want to disturb their times. I'm going to jump in once they're done with that. I've just been messaging Palm in the meantime just to let him know he must stay in the lobby. I will sort it out.
Unless he wants me, unless you want me to jump in, because I'm literally able to just unplug and plug into my.
No, it's all good. I'm all ready to do it. I'm just waiting for the time to run out. I don't want to interrupt their concentration on their times. Someone could. Ooh, big drift there from Ratic.
Through turn 1 and turn 2 on this track, it's not the best to do that.
Looked like he's practicing for the Rally Fighters Championship right there. Talking of that, I can't wait to see which guys join and which guys are using which cars. Hopefully, you see that soon. Aha, let's check the green car. I'd probably be using this livery if I was racing. Oof, runs it a bit wide there. Who's he got behind him here? Is that Speed Pilot or is that M9? I think M9 maybe.
Hang on, did somebody else disconnect as well?
It does look like somebody else is gone.
Got Jeff, Kenny, Gutterpunk, Mark. Looks like Speed Pilot is disconnected.
Alright, I just passed the message on, so we should see everybody retire.
Well, I saw that I have left a message just to say where Speed Pilot has gone. I don't know what's happened to him. If you know anything more, can you elaborate?
I have no idea. He's not in that chat. I don't know why. Don't know why it's taking so long here loading. I don't know if people have left or something's happened, because I am not getting the
Well, I'm in the
next
thing saying
buttons.
return to Race Central.
Yeah, mine is just loading. I don't have any. Here we go. I don't know if someone was disconnecting at that point.
It looks like few people have disconnected.
No, they're retiring from the race.
Whoa! Okay. My screen's gone weird. Screen's gone weird. I repeat, screen's gone weird. Everything's gone weird.
That's what happens when there's no drivers.
As I see one of them just driving into the pit wall. Did you see the Formula One at the weekend?
I did.
I'm just gonna put a bit of filler in right now and say that the Grand Prix was very shocking from what I saw, with regards to the final lap fiasco with Ocon.
It was interesting. I think it's a bit blown out of proportion, but it's still obviously a concern.
Hopefully that doesn't happen tonight in tonight's racing, because there'll be no people to walk out onto the track and cause any issues.
Okay, let's just check we got all our guys. Obviously the qualifying has been removed.
But we just
And
need
I'm having no word from Speed Pilot. I've sent him a private message as well. So we have to continue, unfortunately.
So it looks like Palm's going to be at the back of the grid.
Yep.
Which is not going to be very helpful for him.
Definitely not. But he's got the pace, probably. Maybe. We didn't get to see much of it because I think he disconnected, but let's see. It's going to be a manual rolling start, so we're going to see them go slow for a lap, and then the pace will pick up.
So, Palm's going to have to move out the road with the Palm's going to have to move out the road. Or are we doing a rolling start? Or are we doing a start? Because Palm's in P2.
I said it's a manual rolling start.
So we're going to do a lap behind the safety. Going to do like a lap manual rolling start like we used to do.
Yep.
Get everybody in the right position.
Yeah, you can't choose where people go in this game.
I'm going to say technically there is. You did keep the lappers lap 1 of 12. You did keep the laps as 12. So we're down to now 11 laps potentially.
Yep. That didn't change. It stays the same. Hopefully everyone remembers it's a manual rolling start and they don't all nail each other. You can see somebody's Senna's already racing. He obviously didn't hear me when I said there we go, I think he figured it out now.
Everybody's figured it out now.
Oof. I don't know if he knows he must be ahead of Palm there. This is why you gotta listen to your radios. The Joff leading the pack. Kenny in second, Ratek third, Gutterpunk fourth. Oof, M9 runs it wide on the formation there. He'll get back in position if he's got the time. If not, ooh. Some of the guys look like they're pushing already on this lap. See if M9 has got it together here. Luckily it's quite a long track, so he's got some time. Quite a nice thing, this rolling start, for us to just see the cars, see where they lined up.
Jess in P1, which is going to be pretty good for him.
Kenny 2, we don't usually see Kenny not in that number 1 spot. Ratek there, third, so he's done well. I can see Ratek and Gutterpunk probably this season sort of having a good battle throughout. They did have a good one last in the Mega Sport Series. Probably going to continue it on from there. Someone I'm looking forward to seeing those Volpeaks when he gets back, gets a chance to join. I think he's going to be up there as well. Anyways, they're coming up to the line now. Joff runs over the line. And away they go.
Let's go, 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 go! As Palm gets away. Goes past Senator, who's basically trying to stay alive right now, as Jeff keeps it going. As Rasek's got past Kenny.
Yeah, it's a good move from Ratek there around the outside. Ooh, Kenny runs it a bit wide.
That's going to lead to a bit of a battle with Gutterpunk, as Palm's now on the back
and
of.
not only with Gutterpunk, here comes Palm around the outside of Gutterpunk. Ooh, just clips the front of Gutterpunk's car, and off he goes. That's unfortunate.
Max had a bit of a wobble. Max just gone down to fourth.
Palm up into third already. That's unlucky for Gutterpunk, he was doing well. Battle now between Palm and Ratek. These are very, very cool looking cars. I like them a lot. Very aggressive looking. But Joff, look at that gap that he's pulled on Kenny. Kenny fighting with Palm. Palm up the inside. What a move. That was an overtake and a half.
I may have missed that, but that seems like it. But from what you've...
Very, very brave and fast overtake there. I don't know how I don't know how he kept that under control. That looked like he was sliding and everything.
Let me
Great
just
move.
watch the instant replay by looking back on the stream.
Palm's looking really twitchy tonight, but fast.
It looks like Kenny went really wide going through that final corner, and Palm just took full advantage, going tight down the inside.
So he's come right from the back. Can he get to the front? Is he going to
If Palm
Joff?
wins this is going to be the best last to first challenge for Palm ever. And if Palm actually wins this,
Kenny's not giving up though. He's still on the back of him. It's amazing when you look at the Kenny into the wall.
Was that Palm shoved Kenny into the wall, or?
It wasn't really anyone's fault. They were just side by side. Palm, I was just about to talk about their different driving styles. So you've got Palm is very twitchy, very slidey, but fast. Kenny, obviously, very planted. We've seen in all the different championships, it's usually how he drives. But yeah, they're two different driving styles, but still just as fast as each other. Unfortunately, Kenny just got a little bit tapped there, but now the guy that's benefited from all of this chaos is Ratek, who's now come from nowhere. He's up into second. Good job from him.
This is going to be a very tight battle between Ratek, Palm and Kenny, and it's going to allow Jeff to sail off into the distance.
I'm not even sure if Palm knew that was Ratek that he was letting through, because I feel like he backed off a bit to try to let Kenny through. And don't know if he realized that was Ratek. Either way, it's made for some exciting racing right now. And in the meantime, Joff pulling a big gap. Gutterpunk managed to get himself back up to 5th, but unfortunately he could have a bit of damage even. But definitely a lot of work to do if he wants to catch up again. Kenny looks like he's dropping off. I reckon Kenny would have got a little bit of damage. I don't know. Yep. I haven't driven these cars in a while, but I don't think they as strong as some of the cars we've driven in the past. Probably picked up a bit of steering damage.
I
actually don't see him in the shot. He might have crashed or something. Ooh! Massive crash between the two cars on that fast section. Ratek almost into the pits. He might have to go in there anyway, honestly.
I think they...
No, he's gonna... Yeah, he goes pits.
I think he may have... I think Palm and... I think they may have had a bit of a Project Cars moment. Going through that turn, they may have touched each other a little bit.
I think such a fast section, they're probably both pushing very hard. Not sure.
And getting way
exactly,
too close to each other. Too close.
Not sure. Didn't catch it exactly. Don't know how it happened, but that was a big accident. I think they're lucky it didn't pan out worse. So Ratek in the pits right now. Palm will have... I don't know, he didn't look like he hit the wall. I think luckily for him he shot to the left. Ratek went right into the wall.
Has he got rear end damage? Because I'm just having a look at that rear end, and from what I saw, it looked as though it may have been flapping a little.
Palm's been sliding around a lot most of this race, so I can't tell.
It just seems like...
Everything looks together, not visual that I can see anything wrong.
It just seems like... Oh, Kenny's gone off! Kenny's gone off! That's Kenny off!
Gone off. So that's Gutterpunk back up into second. I'm glad that things worked out a bit for him there. Into second he goes. Palm in third. Unfortunately, Ratek now in sixth. But we saw earlier, if you stick in it, you never know what's going to happen. You could be like Guttapunk, who's back up into second. Palm super fast, but at the moment, unfortunately, just getting involved in a few collisions. It's just unable to get past into second. Oof. There's a lot of action for one race here tonight.
My brain can't process all this this stuff going on at once. My brain is overloading with regards to this race. It requires a...
This is such close racing.
I may have also had a small amount of caffeine, so my brain's slightly wired up a little bit for this now, but yeah, looking pretty good tonight. The thing is, Jeff's just sailing off into the distance.
Yeah, all of this is paid off for Geoff. He's
I mean,
let's quickly get him on camera here before more action happens at the back.
I bet now we're gonna say this. I bet now I'm gonna say this. It's gonna cause an issue with Jeff. But I don't see him losing this race. I don't see him losing this race.
This is why we're seeing so much accidents.
Oh,
Palm! No, it's not Palm. It's Guttapunk.
He's
He's lost it. Into the wall he goes. It's such a tight section that when you're going two cars next to each other, it's so easy if you're trying to stay on your line, and it's a horrible section there to go off on.
As I say, Kenny's got a penalty. He's gone into the pits.
He's speeding
into the pits penalty.
I think, he doesn't pit very often, Kenny, so he's just getting used to it. And he's overshot the pit. He has to reverse into the pit now. So that could give M9 and Ratek a chance. Ratek's fallen back into 6th though, wasn't he up into 5th? Or am I imagining things? But potentially they could come out ahead of Kenny now. Kenny's coming out.
Kenny very rarely does anything with regards to pitting and stuff, so he must have serious damage for that.
And I think M9 is maybe... Oh,
is M9 going to get him? Oh, he's got him! He's got him!
Just got him!
Oh my word, M9 Snake, he's beating Kenny. You love to see it. Oh
no, Ratek second time into the pits. This isn't going well for him tonight on this track.
Mark's not good. Mark's going to be cursing the deity that gave him that. Gave him this track.
Maybe they didn't repair his damage, his previous pit. I don't know. But now a battle here, M9 and Kenny.
M9 literally being intimidated left, right, and centre by the Kenny.
Welcome to race space. This is the initiation.
Well, I mean, I've had battles with Kenny before, and Kenny is a guy that I would not like to be on the rear end because he is very aggressive.
It's very difficult not to drive looking in your mirrors the whole time when you've got Kenny behind you, because he is all over the back of you usually. This is such a tight section here. Let's see, this is where a lot of the accidents is happening. It's also probably one of the thinnest parts of the track. That's where Guttapunk lost it the last time.
Coming M9. Oh, you're going wide. That's a bit of a...
Kept it though, kept it.
Kept it, but he's lost a lot of speed. Kenny's gonna go past him now. Can M9 slick into the slipstream?
Is he gonna try? No, Kenny cuts them off, I think.
Kenny shuts the door on him. That's Kenny gone past him, but Kenny's
Kenny
gone slightly wide.
Carries the speed though, and he's away. Oof.
I mean, technically, Gutterpunk, Palm and Jeff could all pit right now and come out in the same order and still be potentially ahead of Kenny.
I think the only car here that still looks as good as the day it left the shop is Joff's. There he goes.
Joff's literally just sailing.
Although for all the action that's happened at the back, Palm's not too far off of Joff.
Palm's going to be very careful with regarding the lap car of Horner Senna, lapping Senna. As Senna just basically dives off the track to save that. As Palm may be about to overtake, maybe about to lap Mark, going from being the guy that's in P1 or in a pretty reasonable position to then being lapped by the guy that you were fighting not too long ago.
I wonder if he managed to get his car repaired though. Sometimes in project cars, if you haven't got a good pit strategy ready to go, it can be difficult to do it on the fly. So sometimes you'll see if it's a short race where guys didn't expect to pit, then sometimes they don't have a good one, it can mess up their pits. So hopefully he's got it under control and he can get back in the race now.
I think that's a big issue with regards to Project Car, with regards to this, is with regards to strategy. When you do a pit stop and you're repairing damage, it doesn't automatically, if you select a default, it doesn't automatically fix engine damage. You have to manually put that in as a strategy.
Yep.
If you've got engine damage. So all in all, Mark's going to be Mark should be getting blue flag, blue flag, blue flag, blue flag. Sebastian.
Honestly, Mark, if Mark's in a good enough position in his car right now, if he tries to stick on the back of Palm looks like he's going the fastest at the moment, so can maybe pull him through, get him a bit closer to M9. But the man to beat right now, Joff.
I think Jeff's having end of the race issues. Hang on, Palm had a bit of a wobble then. He was 4.1, now he's down to 4.6.
I think Palm is lap after lap now. He's probably faster, but can also be getting towards the end of the race, a bit of pressure. It's happened to me before. Sometimes if you feel like you shouldn't be winning a race and you look there and you see why, you don't understand why, and it can mess with your head a bit. But,
I mean, I've had that once or twice. I had that with that race at Zolder last few seasons ago when I was driving in that championship that we did with the, what do you call it? Ah, damn it! That race at Zol, I can't remember what championship it was. The touring cars. I actually found I was pretty surprised, to be fair, that I was up in P2, and I did not know what was going on. I was like, how can I be in P2? What is this? What is this sorcery?
I was the car directly behind you.
That I do apologise for sending to the Shadow Realm, but enough said about sending people to the Shadow Realm myself. All I can say is, Jeff's had a bit of a Jeff's had a spin. He's got the course.
He's driven through the corner, but here comes Palm.
That's
Palm
almost
is right
certainly
behind him now.
That's almost certainly going to be potentially looked at there. If somebody decides to report that to the
Here
stewards.
comes Palm.
Palm's looking good for this race. The pressure's getting to Jeff right now. I think Jeff's got
a whole nother lap. Palm just mustn't push.
He may have been slightly pushing there.
You can't go over the edge because we know what happens when you go over the edge and these cars go into the wall. It's looking really quick though.
We were speaking about Palm earlier on, potentially not good enough to take a race winners. Jeff's gone off the track again. Jeff is having a mare right now as we go into the final lap.
Is it going to be a loss to first from Palm tonight?
Is this going to be a race?
Oh, there goes
Jeff!
He managed to recover well though, but just enough for Palm to go through now.
Now Jeff's now the hunter. As Ratak's got into the pits, and he's got a speeding penalty. What is it? A speeding penalty too for the pits? Palm,
also got a penalty.
Who didn't even qualify? Who did not qualify? As looks as though now I said it earlier on. I've commentators curse. I said that Jeff's not going to lose this, and what happened? He's lost it.
Yeah, you mustn't say stuff like that. Look what happens.
Commentator's curse strikes again.
Palm's got a big enough gap now where he can just put in, he doesn't have to put his fastest lap in now, he just needs to put in a solid one. And he should get this.
He can just chill right now. Chill his beans.
I think he's going to be happy with this one if he can do it, because he hasn't had a win for a while that I can remember, so...
This is going to be pretty good, and if this was last season, I'd have been saying, get in there, Palm! But, we're in a different season, I don't have a person representing me. So, all I'm going to say is, well done, Palm! You've done really well tonight, as Palm goes through the final corner to win the Japanese Grand Prix. Well done, Palm!
Over the line he goes. There he goes. Win for Palm. First win of the season. Choff made a mistake there. Luckily he's got enough space between him and the next car that he can still take second.
But Palm, what a win there, son.
Good job from Choff
What a win.
As well. Great drive. Here comes Guttapunk. Also solid drive. Remember he was down right at the back on the first lap, or second lap, with the bit of... issues happening there, and he's managed to come third, so that's a podium for him. Is that his second podium as well? Why did he come in the last one? Fourth or third?
I think he came P4 in that race.
Okay, well, still solid.
If I have a look correctly.
And Kenny, just unfortunately things not going his way in this one.
Guttapunk came fourth in the last race. So, a solid 3-4. Kenny's got a 1-4. Jeff's got
an M9. M9 showing us that if you just stick with it, chip away at it, you can gain some positions. He's going to take fifths away from this one, and he had a good battle earlier with Kenny, so
Palm's got Palm's got a 2-1 for this season.
Yeah, that sets him up in a good position there. Who's that sitting on the line?
That was Senna sitting on the line. It looks like he may have spammed there. But yeah, all in all, some good racing tonight. The only issue is there was a few crashes and a few incidents. But all in all, some good stuff. I'm
Yeah,
just going to
good
say
races.
I can't save the replay.
Yeah, I'm the same as you.
I've got
Need to
no
go through.
space. I need to go through my stuff. But yeah, all in all, good race. Good racing. Good racing from everybody. Um, that's all we've got time for tonight. Um, next week we have Imola and Catalunya, the GP layout, which I don't like. I don't like the Catalonia. However, we've got Imola, which is a very nice track to drive. On any game, it's absolutely it's a beautiful track.
Yeah, they both going to be good races. I think we don't do Imola a lot, so it'd be nice to throw that one in there.
We
And
I'm
yeah,
just having a
it'll
look at
be
the
good.
championship this season. We've got Red Bull Ring, a track that I've not driven on the full layout when we've been doing racing.
Usually Ratek does pretty well there, so I'm kind of looking forward to what he can do in these cars there.
We've got Oschersleben, which is a pretty nice track. In terms of racing around, it's you got some pretty high speed sections, some not so high speed sections, tight, twisty, slightly short, but pretty good layout, pretty good racetrack. You've then got Laguna Seca, and then for the final race, Sonoma, track where I have not been to in a long time. I've not drove that track for a long time, so it's gonna be strange to drive around that track on this game again. But that's all we've got time for tonight, guys. Um, thank you, Kyle, for joining me. It's been a pleasure having you to basically bounce off again and have somebody there to basically talk to whilst doing this event. And it's also nice to have you, the manager of the group, basically there with me. And I thank you for the honour of doing this again. I hope you all have a lovely rest of your night, everybody that's watching at home. And until next time, goodbye. Take care.
Awesome. Cheers, everyone.
Good
See you
night,
next week.
everyone.